Welcome back to the B.A.M Sports Media Podcast. I am your co-host, Brandon Lockhart. Next to me, we have my brother, my partner in crime, the sports guru himself. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Malcolm Buggs.
Back again here on the B.A.M Media Sports Podcast. We are so glad to be here today in familiar territory. Here at the IPF at the Opelika High School, one of the best high schools in the state of Alabama. B, what are we talking about today?
Man, look, bro, we got a special one today, man. So obviously, we're in the summertime. We know that around late July, early August, before the season starts, it's committing time.
Correct.
It's committing time. So today we got a special episode. We're gonna talk about high school football recruiting. We talking the biggest recruits in the state. We talking the most popular recruits in the country, and we're gonna share some light today on I would say a few of the teams and programs that I really feel like might have had a letdown this recruiting cycle. But also we're gonna hit on as well some of the teams we feel like had a great recruiting cycle this year, man. It's a lot of changes going on in the high school recruiting world with the NIL, the transfer portal making big impacts. So high school football recruiting is not what it once used to be, but I still think there are some gems out here. I do think there are still some ways we can still find ways to build programs through high school recruiting. It's still not just strictly about the transfer portal or NIL, although NIL is playing a big part in getting a lot of these young guys, to these schools for visits and so forth. But man, I'm ready, Bugs. Which one of these topics you want to talk about first, man?
I think we'll start with the obvious thing, which is what you mentioned with the transfer portal and NIL. The impact that it has on recruiting. I think recruiting has definitely changed as far as the timing of commitments, also the structuring of how people go about their business with the commitments, and also the different people that are attached to each commit. Yeah. If you think about it nowadays, it used to be about 10 years ago, you maybe had to go through the student athlete and their parents. Mm-hmm. Now you have to go through the student athlete, the student athlete's agent, the student athlete's parents, and the student athlete's trainer, or maybe athletic performance guy or woman that helps them with nutrition, things of that nature. So it's just a lot of different dual parties attached to these recruits, which makes it more and more interesting as you look at these top lists. Were we gonna go state rankings, or will we talk about national rankings first?
Man, let's go. Let's talk about the state players first. Let's talk about some of the state guys who committed, man, and let's talk about some of the ones who maybe left on the table, getting ready to commit going into the season. Because a lot of the guys, nowadays a lot of the guys try to commit before their senior season starts, so they can go into the season with no worry, no concern on this team gonna keep me or pull my offer.
Correct.
So let's talk about some of the guys in state first, man. Who some of the guys on your list?
Some guys that are interesting to me, that stand out. I would say the guard kid from Viger High School, Edge, 4-star Edge, that just recently committed to Texas, maybe about 2-3 weeks ago. I think he's a great get for them. If you look at the top 100 or the top 50 players in the state, you can see a great, I would say, parity when it comes to where these kids are going. There's a lot of different representation when you talk about the top commits in our state.
Yeah.
I'm talking east, west, north, south, power 4, mid-major, you name it. The talent has a great amount, or the state has a great amount of talent that's been spread out, obviously.
Yeah.
It's not normal, because if you think about it, here in the great state of Alabama, you would much rather, or you would much be more used to Alabama and Auburn stockpiling most of the talent. But that's just not the case anymore. You can look at it with a recent commitment from a 4-star D lineman up in Ramsey, right here in Birmingham, Alabama.
That's right.
Just recently committed to Carlos Majors. Recently committed to Ohio State. And we talk about the kid that's at Thompson, the edge, Cam Pritchard, that's committed to Oregon. We can just keep branching out. I mean, hell, I even coach a guy here that cornerback, safety guy. He ended up going to Syracuse. These guys are just, it's just different when you talk about the nuances that are attached to recruiting. And I think it's built on a system that wants to see more parity in the game of college football.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the biggest difference for me, man, is seeing, like you just stated a few seconds ago, Alabama and Auburn not getting all of the players from the state now. Mm-hmm. I think that's gonna raise some eyebrows.
Yeah,
it's gonna start to raise some eyebrows. I mean, it's already raised them up there in T-Time.
Yeah.
I think the fans of Auburn actually are probably more happy now because now a lot of the talent that once was possibly going to, Bama, I think now they're going to Auburn. Auburn is getting anywhere from 6 to 8 in-state recruits every year, at least for the past 2 to 3 years.
Correct.
And obviously, I think, Bama focuses a lot on out-of-state, recruiting. But I will say we have been able in the past to grab those 1 or 2 guys in the state that are 5 stars or high-performing 4 stars, and I think we've still been missing. We've been striking out on them guys lately.
I think, just to add to your point, if you look at the top 10 players in the state, Auburn has a commit from 3 of those top 10 guys.
There you go.
So when you talk about winning your state, when you talk about valuing your recruiting area, it seems like, Coach Dolis has a great upstart in, recruiting right here in the state.
Yeah, I agree.
And like you said, it could pay dividends down the line, but it's also great for them to build momentum in the other phases of, running a program in a successful rate.
What do you think the main reason kids are now going to Auburn more, or going to these out-of-state programs like in the Big Ten, well, I don't know if it's a Pac-10 anymore.
Yeah. You got the Big Ten. You still got the Big Ten, SEC, ACC, Big 12, and then
I know
they are still considered a conference. The Pac-12, they're just in the process of rebuilding, but also gaining other teams back into form of basically a new league.
Gotcha.
But with that being said, I think the difference now, obviously, I think this generation too is more individualized, like individualistic. These kids are more centered on making sure that they make the right decisions for themselves, and even at an early age. And I don't think it's a problem with that. I just think it presents different situations and scenarios that both sides have to be able to navigate in order for both sides to really benefit from all scenarios and situations. I do think if you look at some of the top players in the state, they have commitments to Oregon, Texas, Ohio State, Miami. That just shows you that not only is other states having or other schools having the opportunity to come into the state and recruit the talent, but also secure the talent and have that talent be useful for them in recruiting and establishing pipeline. Because if you think about it, I can give you an example. Look at Miami. Dane Upshaw, a receiver, was at Central High School a couple years ago. Now they have a commitment from a 4-star tackle that's at Central High School with Detroit Williams.
That's true.
They also have a guy that plays corner at Doak. So you can obviously see that the pipeline is something that is being useful when it comes to just word of mouth, having people that are already from the state, just be able to build those relationships and form that bridge.
Now that I sit here and listen to you say that, I think about Nick Saban just simply being gone out of the sport. I think that opened up a door for all of these other programs that we just listed, your Miamis, your Ohio States, your Texas. I don't think nobody fears coming in the state now. I think when Nick was here, people kind of feared even coming in the state.
Thought twice about even coming down here.
It's not a third time. It's not a third time because you knew Nick probably already had his hands on that.
Correct.
And he wasn't letting it go.
Correct.
He wasn't letting it go.
And I think those ties, though, are heavily seen, though, throughout recruitment as well. Because you talk about your heavy hitters now in college ball, you talk about the guys with A, the most money, the most alumni support.
Definitely.
B, the most notoriety when it comes to wins and championships, Ohio State, Georgia.
Facts.
And then C, what path is gonna be the quickest, easiest, most feasible for them to, get playing time early. And, money sometimes playing time and money can be the two ultimate deciding factors when it comes to kids these days. But, everybody has a preference. Everybody has a,
Is it not,
way to get things done, a way to choose what path is best for them.
Do you not think it's about development anymore?
I think development is something that is prioritized when you talk about the guys that are focused on making it to the next level. Some guys look at the college opportunity, especially those that being heavily recruited, Power 4 talent guys.
Yeah.
Some guys see that opportunity as, maybe the most money that they may ever make.
Yeah.
So they try to capitalize on negotiations early, especially when you talk about 5 and 4-star talents.
Gotcha.
They really are the only ones with that type of power in recruiting. 3-star guys, I was a 3-star guy before. You have to really choose who chooses you. When you're a 4-star guy, you get to kind of really determine your recruiting route.
Okay.
For the most part, because people will actually hold the spot or hold a scholarship offer that they have for you.
Okay.
Until you're ready to make your decision.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Have you seen any? So what I noticed too when I looked at the list for the top recruits in the country, not just the state. Now we're talking the country. A lot of these guys are already committed.
Correct.
And this is probably one of the first years that I've actually seen, or when I actually go through each of the players, I don't see a lot of uncommitted guys.
Yeah.
That kind of showed me then that I know it's a change in the geographics of high school football recruiting now.
Correct.
Because like I said, I remember a couple of years ago when we were studying Caleb Downs before he committed. Man, there was so many 5-stars in that class that hadn't committed yet.
Correct.
And it was around this time. So it's like, dang, just 2-3 years ago, the whole sport was totally different. And that was also around the same time that the GOAT decided to lead the game.
But I also think you have to look at the different rule changes that have taken place or taken place throughout that time.
Yeah.
Here, maybe with the last 3 years.
Yeah.
You got to think about the second transfer portal window being closed. You got to think about the simple fact that they started with certain rules in NIL, and then slowly but surely there is still gray area that's created. So people really don't know or really don't have cap or limits is how they're going to use the NIL in order to help their program. So those different things I think contribute to how the game is viewed and how the game is actually played on and off the field when it comes to security talent.
Yeah.
But looking at the top 10 recruits, you have 2 edges, 2 corners, 3 quarterbacks, 2 O-linemen, and looking at that, thinking about it, it shows the value in the quarterback, but also the value in the trenches. When you talk about rushing the passer and being able to protect the passer, the top player is a 6'6", 240 edge rusher from Roswell, Georgia, DJ Jacobs, and then the second and third guy are both guys that are 6'5", 6'6", 300-pound tackles inside offensive line from Florida, and that just shows you that trenches is the value of O-lineman and D-lineman is still up. The game is still trending in a way that you have to be able to win up front in order to be successful.
Yeah.
But it also just shows you that certain things are already planned out, negotiated, talked about, and agreed upon earlier in the system in recruiting right now because of early enrollees being able to get on campus early and be able to play in the spring or have an opportunity to earn early playing time as a freshman, being able to develop early. Those things are high on the priority list for recruits because they actually want to be able to have a good experience in their careers.
Yeah, I agree, man. Any surprises? Like when you look at that top 10, any surprises you see on that list?
No surprises. I will say the quarterback has usually been the most highly valued position when you talk about football.
Yeah.
And seeing the fact that they have a plethora of quarterbacks on this list, but all of them are bottom of the top 10.
Bottom of the top 10.
It just was, unique for me to see that, but also to know the importance of the position and how the game is played. It was just unique to see that in the years or this 2027 recruit cycle.
I did notice too, like if you look at that list, out of those 10 recruits, all of the teams that they committed to were all teams in states with good capital.
Yeah, correct.
Good money. So that's once again also pointing to
the dollar.
Yeah, dollar in the NIL program.
Correct.
So now we have gotten to the rapid fire question. This is one of my favorite segments of the show. I'm gonna ask my guy 3 to 5 questions, and I'm gonna let him go at it. You ready for it?
Go ahead.
All right. So for the first one, I got what are college coaches really looking for during the recruiting process when they're recruiting a high school athlete?
Well, obviously it is a business, so they're definitely looking to make an investment in a product. And I think kids need to understand that and understand the business aspect of it, because you have to be marketable and accessible and open to the different things that you'll be presented with in a recruiting process. So I think college coaches definitely look for guys that they can depend on. So accountability, responsibility, somebody that is a leader on their team currently, but also somebody that is a hard worker, somebody that is dependable, somebody that is actually going to show up, actually loves the game, loves the adversity that the game will present, and also somebody that is trustworthy, able to do the things off the field that's going to contribute to them being able to perform at a high level on the field. So, i.e., class, i.e., staying out of trouble in your free time, in your leisure time, i.e., being respectful to your coaches, understanding the opportunity that you have as a high school athlete, and valuing where you are, being where your feet are right now, but also understanding how you act and how you conduct yourself in the setting that you're in now. Is definitely how they see you or how they view your potential in the future.
I was just about to ask you about the academics. I was going to say, is academics a big piece in that? Is that something that coaches look forward to?
I think they have to. When you talk about it, this is all not going to happen unless, we'll have collegiate institutions that are able to service education first, but then, obviously have extracurricular activities associated with their program, like athletics, like archery, like pottery, like all these different things that you can have associated or attached to at a university.
Yeah, and last but not least, I would say too, to just say piggyback off of that a little bit. If you can't be disciplined in the classroom, you ain't gonna be disciplined on that field.
And it just it correlates. It correlates, and I try to tell my athletes that I coach all the time. Be where your feet are, but understand you're auditioning every day. And if you truly want to make it to the next level, it's about how you conduct yourself. It's about the extra time that you put in. It's about your approach on a daily basis.
I got you. So, which under the radar program do you think is building something special this recruiting cycle?
Indiana. And it's not underrated. Well, I guess they're still underrated to a degree. Because I think, me personally, I don't know if they'll be viewed as a heavy hitter from now on off 1 year. I do think that this is the first year of the target. So the first year that people are going to, see them as, all right,
top dog.
Yeah, correct. We have to actually go at them. If we can beat them, we can actually win the national championship. They're at the standard right now.
That's true.
So, but looking at some of the guys that they're landing in their recruiting class, man, like they just landed the number one receiver in the country. He is from Indianapolis, Indiana, and that definitely plays a part. But this guy was also
what his nickname is.
What my son said, I don't know his nickname.
The guy nickname is Bama. Let me tell y'all that now. His nickname was Bama. You can go and look this up. The boy name was Bama. He left the state, went to Indiana, and now he going to the Indiana Hoopers. It hurt my soul, man. Me and my boy B. Trail, bro. B. Trail, we've been arguing about this for the past probably 2-3 months. We've been kind of trying to figure out, is he gonna go to the money or he's gonna go back to the roots. You know,
Yeah.
Bama we pulled the red carpet out for him when he came down here.
Correct.
We had to
was
bring my
also-
whole family there.
He was also considering Ohio State and
Texas.
So for him to choose Indiana and knowing the pedigree of, you know, the attraction of Ohio State and, you know, the wide receiver production, the attraction of Steve Sarkisian of Texas as far as the overall offensive line.
Great.
And then we talk about the money. Ain't nobody mentioned that money over there.
Facts.
And then we talk about Alabama. Knowing Kevin Du Bois, offensive guy, offensive head coach, but also understanding the opportunity to play for a coordinator that was the offensive coordinator in the league for the Seattle Seahawks for a year or two.
Yeah.
And then knowing that he probably would be 1 or 2 when he enrolled, because I think this should be Ryan Colton Williams last year. I think this
He learned how to catch the ball.
if he's consistent enough and does what he's supposed to do. I also see, you know, other guys that could possibly be passed up by his athleticism and talent,
Yeah.
but also understand that he's 6'5" and 17, 18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And we see the impact that Sadarian Morgan has had just in the spring.
That's
and,
true.
And the buzz around him.
Oh man.
I think that that type of size, like, for example, Derek Meadows,
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a future guy this year in their
It
offense.
should be.
So,
Should be.
just understanding the opportunity he had here to possibly come in and play early, and then, like I said, those other two, it was surprising to see them get him. But he's not the only guy that they've been able to land. They've been making
They got a great
some
class.
waves around the recruiting cycle in 2027. So I definitely say Indiana.
Who finishes the recruiting cycle with the number 1 class in your eyes?
That's a good question. If I had to guess though, and I'm just going off recent success and how it has transpired over the last 2 to 3 years, I would say somebody in the Big Ten. Between Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana, I would probably bet on one of them to finish with the top class. I think here down in the SEC, it's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of, we trample each other. We cost each other out, cancel each other out a lot when it comes to not only wins and losses, but recruiting. And I just think Oregon, Ohio State, or Indiana may have a better chance to land the number 1 recruiting class based off recent success, but also continued NIL support.
Yeah.
I just go ahead and put that out there.
If I had to pick, I'll go with Texas. If I had to say anybody outside of them 3 that you just named, I'd probably say Texas, just because out of them 10 we just talked about, 2 of them going to Texas.
Yeah.
And I think out of the top maybe 30 to 50 players, you got about 10 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But also, just to add to your argument, and that's a great choice as well, but the state, the population in the state of Texas. I mean, you talk about the state of Texas, you talk about California, you talk about the state of Florida. You're able to lock down those states and recruit, you got a great shot at being number 1 in recruit.
And you do. Well, the Buzz Breakdown is here. That's another special segment where my guy get a chance to really dive deep, man, into a topic, a category of choice. Today's topics that he gonna probably highlight a little bit more is discussing some of those players more in depth that were either committed or uncommitted on that list, and kind of just going back again into some of the small detailed things about the recruiting process. Some of the small detailed things that you noticed change from when you were recruited,
Correct,
to now when you see another coach come in here and recruit one of your kids.
yeah.
I want you to hit on that a little bit too.
Well, I'll talk about that before I highlight the players. I think the biggest change is that everything is getting done a lot faster. I remember when I was coming up. I remember when I first got into college. I wouldn't say first. When I first starting in college, it was a kid coming up by the name of Dylan Moses. He ended up going to the University of Alabama playing linebacker. He was offered by almost 30 different schools as an 8th grader. Now, at that time, I think it was 2017 recruiting class. He might have been 20.
20.
He was getting those offers in 14 when I first got to campus. When I first got to college, he was getting offers as an 8th grader to all these different schools.
He was.
So at this time, comparing that time to what we see nowadays, that's not something that's surprising anymore at all because of how sped up things are at this current day and age when we talk about having NIL support, having the transfer portal also as something that is considered in every recruiting cycle now.
I got you.
I think kids have to understand the sense of urgency that they must have in order to truly secure themselves a scholarship. I give y'all a valid example. My son just turned 5 years old. I told him, okay, it's time to put on your big boy drawers because you're about to start training. Go ahead and let's talk about exactly what you want to do. Whether it's basketball, football, baseball, track, you're about to start training because at the end of the day, if you're not already putting work, if you're not actually going ahead and starting to plan out different things and put your child in the
right
predicament, correct, put your child in the right positions in order to be successful in this realm of sports in this day and age, and you possibly could, lead them in a situation where they don't achieve their goals and dreams. I know one thing I wanted to do. I just really wanted to go to school. I wanted to play Division I football. And I wanted to go to school and be able to take that burden off my mom's back as far as going to school to be able to platform me in the life and having an education to be able to go and make a career and have a name and be able to provide for myself and my family. But that is definitely one of the biggest things that's changed in high school recruitment. It's sped up. So if you're looking forward to making sure that your child is successful in it, go ahead and be proactive when it comes to getting them the right utensils and getting them in the right predicaments and positions in order for them to be successful.
At what age should your child start going to camps and stuff like that?
That's a whole different topic. But when we talk about camps, they're great, but it depends on what camp you're going to. It also depends on exactly what you're trying to get out of each camp. Are we going to speed, agility, and athletic performance camps, or are we going to camps that are actually football-based, baseball-based, basketball-based, that are actually evaluating their talent? Or are we going to the moneymaker camp? And they're out there, camps that colleges throw just to make sure that they can make enough money off that camp and service and not actually evaluating your kids. They're out there as well. So you got to be mindful of, the different camp opportunities that you possibly partake in with your child. But, all right, last thing, we're going to break down these top 5 guys on the National Recruiting 2027 cycle. I think one thing that it stands out, like I said earlier, when we talk about the top 5 guys, the first overall players from Roswell, Georgia, DJ Jacobs, 6'6", 235, 240, Craig Ben, committed to Ohio State. Kind of crazy that he's not going to the University of Georgia where they produce great edge rushers as well at all times. But like I said, big recruiting win for Coach Day and Coach Larry Johnson and all those guys. I think they've always made recruiting the South a very, very imperative thing that they love to do. When you look at the recent recruits that Ohio State has gotten in the last 2 or 3 years, it's no brainer that he's definitely a great player. Maxwell Hiller, did he just commit to the University of Florida? I think that's a huge recruiting win for John Summerall. A statement, really a foundational piece when you talk about being a new coach in the SEC. Yes, a former SEC player, played linebacker at the University of Kentucky, has an awesome story for those that are, interested in, understanding the different challenges that, the game of football could possibly present to you. Coach John Summerall, awesome story. I respect him on a different level because he was actually a coach. Right? Correct. He coached at Tulane, but he was actually a coach at my school rival, which is on your chest, Troy University. So John Summerall, great pickup for him. 6'5", 300 kid. They have him listed as an inside offensive lineman, I think. But when you're 6'5", 300 pounds, you can also slide out the tackle. Correct. You can also slide out the tackle. On the spot that you don't really see that size much is at center. usually go for 6'3", 6'4" frame there. But great pickup for them. The third guy on the list is an offensive tackle from Florida. His name is Mark Matthews. He's committed to Texas A&M. Great get for Coach Elko. Definitely a guy that fits their prototypical system and what they want to do. They want to RTDB. If anybody is very familiar with that term in the game of football. Definitely want to be a ground and pound team. Use the RPO with Marcel Reed. And quick shout out to TK Norman. I think y'all should look for a big year for him down there in Texas A&M. Since we're talking about one of their Texas A&M commits. All right. The fourth guy, John Meredith from Texas. He's a Texas commit. They committed not too long ago. Long rangy kid. If you are following college football or follow high school recruiting at all, he actually has a story out about ineligibility, something that he has going on as far as whether he's going to play his last high school season or not.
Yeah.
So that's something for you all, that follow that to tap into and possibly follow up on. But great kid, long, 6'2", 6'3" kid. Was getting recruited by Alabama as well. Definitely the prototypical corner for Kane Womack and what he likes. He loves long guys 6'2" and up on the outside. And I think even back when I played for him, I can remember certain guys, certain teammates that I have that fit that mold. Quentin Dent, so on and so forth. So Quentin Lane, there's a lot of different guys that we tried out in that same spot. So definitely a big kid out of Texas, big get for Sarkisian and the Longhorns. And then the fifth guy on the list we'll talk about is Jalen Brewster, a Texas Tech commit. Now,
big time commit.
Big time commit. Big time. But notice something. All top 5 guys go in different places. And also, out of the top 5 guys, 4 out of the 5 are offensive defensive linemen. So that's just another reinforcing statement that what we made earlier when they talk about playing winning football, starting in the trenches. Start in the trenches and then spread it out.
That's it.
But I think this is also a good class. I think it's an overall good, recruiting class.
Yeah.
I think the state has a lot of talent that I obviously will witness this year. Obviously, you see the threads that I have on. You see the helmet and stuff in the background. I'm looking for a big year here at over like a high school here in the state of Alabama, class 6A, Region 3. And I think I think high school recruiting though is in a good place as far as trending forward towards still cultivating conversation that's going to help make it better for everybody involved.
Yeah.
So.
Any closing takeaways that you got?
No, man. Honestly, man, I just think I think this year you will see some things I think start to change.
Yeah.
I do want to say that. I think the conversations are starting to be heightened. I don't know if you know it or not, but I think they're starting to outsource other members to be a part of the NCAA board. As far as them making decisions and how things are going to be conducted going forward. And I think NIL and transfer portal is player empowerment, but I also think that we're trending in a direction that we would possibly see more and more rules, guidelines, and regulations that help make it more fair for all parties involved. So not, just the big money winners.
That makes sense. I mean, that's true. I mean, I think that makes sense. I think Nick Saban actually is playing a part in some of the changes that's going along with the NCAA. Well, maybe they're not going on right now. But hopefully they do go on sooner than later.
Yeah.
With him writing that long letter, obviously to the NCAA about the rules of the NIL and transfer portal.
Correct.
So hopefully, man, him and along the lines of some other guys, man, who've been around the sport and the game of college football can really put their imprint on just creating some structure around it. It'll never go back to what it was. Correct. Obviously, just a new day and age. So I think now they just got to focus on how to make it better now for the collegiate athlete. To number one, be able to make some type of compensation.
Yeah.
But to always also still be able to keep them grounded, keep them focused, keep them hungry on what's the goal at hand. That's to get your degree and obviously go to the NFL.
Correct.
But hey man, that was a good one, man.
Oh, yeah.
We back home with this one. Special episode. My boy got on the gear, got on the hat, got on the shirt.
Correct.
Open like a dog, man. That what we is, true and deal, man. Open like a dog. But that's a wrap, man, for this episode, guys. For the B.A.M Sports Media episode, B.A.M Sports Media podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. We just ask that you guys go like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we'll be back with another episode next week, guys. See you soon.
B.A.M gang.